Okay. Hi, everybody. It's always beautiful to see all of you. And as a beautiful stones, beautiful precious stone, we're shining with the light of Father, Mother. So please close your eyes for a moment. Take a breath. And I want you to dedicate this breath to the Father. Thank you, Father. Thank you, Father, for this day. Thank you, Father, for all that I have, for the beat of my heart, for the sun, for the energy of life, abundance that I have. The second breath to the Mother, Great Mother, Divine Mother. You are part of me, Mother Nature, Mother Earth. All my organs, my bones belongs to you. All the elementals, spirits obey you, Mother. Please guide me today to understand the profound meaning with the elementals, spirits, and how can I work with them in my life. And to the third one, the Christ consciousness of love and light, the Holy Spirit, we ask to guide us, receiving the light and love and the sacred knowledge, the sacred wisdom from the masters of the light in the Maya land, to bless all of you, and you will be healed, receiving the energy from the sky and the earth, and at the same time, the guidance of the Holy Spirit in a beautiful shape of an eagle or a beautiful falcon or the quetzal bird. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Can open the eyes, return. So today we're going to focus in the spirituality about this process of healing with plants. And I will share with you different experiences about that, you know. If you have a chance to visit a place, you know, any place, your own garden, an area of the forest, a river, a mountain, it's very important when you arrive there, you be there physically, to feel the area. To feel the area represents that to take a moment of silence, you know, and then you can feel it, what is around the area. I will explain you later why, because I want you to focus in this moment just in the practice. But this is very important to know what are the kind of spirits elementals that's around. And I invite you in the moment that you are there, close your eyes for a moment, and then you ask, you know, to the Father, Mother, to receive what kind of energy is there. And then normally you feel it, you know, normally it's coming, and then you, before to enter in the area, before to enter in the garden, before to enter in the mountains. Sometimes we go to do a sky, we do different activities, but we don't ask permission to enter in the area or the extension, the territory, even in our own garden, we don't ask permission to enter. And this is very important. The Mayan tradition said that every area, every field, every forest, every cornfields, wheat fields, you know, rivers, mountains, they have owners, lords that we call divas. So the first important thing is to feel the area. Then you are there. I give you an example. You know, one day walking with my teacher, we arrived to an area who has a cornfield. It's a big area with a wall. And then we are right there. And I did what I said to you, but my teacher said, you need to add something. You need to ask permission. So I asked permission in this way, you know, Father, Mother, Father, Mother, out of the sky, out of the earth, please allow me to enter, to be protected, to be guided. I ask permission to the elemental spirits of this field. Then you cross your hands like this. And then you do to the right in la quech, and then to the left, alaken. Okay. So you ask permission in this way. So you close your eyes, then you cross your arms, and then you do the salutations. All these symbols came from the old times, represented the Inlakech and the Alaken. The one represents the sacred masculine force, and the other represents the sacred feminine force. Sun and moon, yin, yang, positive, negative, above and below, you know. The duality in these two columns exist even we don't see them physically. So suddenly I asked my teacher at the side of the wall, there are many little stones, you know, like a pile of stones, but small ones. And I said, what is that? You know, what does it mean? And he said that the Mayas has the custom when they are going to enter in a new field. For example, they are going to recollect the harvest of the corn, squash, jicama, chayote, any other legume. You know, they need to do a special salutation to the mother. And this salutation you do with two stones. So you take and stones in the area, and you are going to do this sound. So 3 times. I did uno, dos, tres, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I did it 9 times. Why? Because I am doing the salutations to the mother, to the divine mother, Ixchel, Ixmucane, who is the one who rules all the elemental spirits of the area. And then after, when I finish the salutations, I place my little stones in the wall. That means, you know, that I have fulfilled, you know, the request to ask permission. I can tell you a practical example. What do you do when you visit a friend in another home, in an apartment? You door the bell, okay, or knock the door. You are knocking the door in order that the ones who live in the apartment or the house, they know that you are there. We do the same in Mother Nature. We are right, you know, Mother, we are here. Tan, 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 tan. 9 times represents that we are connecting with the cycle of the moon, with Mother Earth, with the fertility and the abundance. And she's going to command the illusions, the gnomes, the fairies, the spirits elementals of the area to allow you to enter without to have danger, because there will be animals. There will be spiders sometimes, armadillos or snakes. We never know. You know, I have had experiences in areas that you never thought there is animals, the animals show up. So the spirits could take any form when they need to give you an example or a practice. So we need always to follow certain rules in order to fulfill with the spiritual requests. So I hope that you understand this. Wherever you go, you are going to jog in the forest, before to start, ask permission. You're going to a river, ask permission. You're going to swim in a lake, ask permission. You're going to climb mountains, ask permission, because you don't know. Sometimes we have problems with in certain circumstances because we thought that our equipment is good, the ropes are good, and everything is good. And suddenly there is something happen because sometimes people don't ask permission. So this is very important for all of us to feel the end in the entrance. You know, I do this, you know, always arrive to the place, try to feel it, even you are talking, try to feel the place, and then do the salutations to the right, Father, Mother, allow me to enter. And then the ninth knocks with the stones. And then you look, you place it, and then you enter. And then you do, but when you finish and you return, you need to close. So you again do the 9 stones, but now say thank you for all the harvest of the corn, the chayote, the spinach, whatever you have in your bag, you already needs to say thank you and to close the door. This is very important. Always be grateful. Always don't take too much if you don't need it. Take what you needed. And this is very important. One day I was in Guatemala and there was a problem in the area because some animals were eating the harvest of the corn every day, so they tried to control it, and they have problems. So we decided to do a ceremony and to talk with the elemental spirit of that animal who is spoiling, you know. So we did the ceremony that night. We offer, you know, different things to these elemental spirits who is the animal who is spoiling this. And it works out very well because after that, you know, 1 or 2 times more, and then they disappear. It's amazing the power that our Mother Earth has over the elemental spirits. You know, anything who is there is in the control of the mother, is in the control of the father. This is why I want you to understand very well. Everything has an spirit. Spirituality with the herbs, with the stones, with the trees, with the fruits, with the rain. One day we needed to do a ceremony, and it was like today. It was raining. It was a little hurricane in the area, so it was like I had, like, you know, some friends to go. So we decided to go. Even was raining so hard, we went to the area, and believe me, when we blow the shell, you know, in front of this hurricane, it was an open space in the sky, and we did the ceremony without to be wet. As we close the ceremony, we just run to the cars, and then it's pouring again. So that is the power that you have with your spirit, with the other spirits elementals, with the rain, with the stones, with the snow, with the rivers, with the water, with anything. Remember that, you know, the great teacher said that if we have faith, you know, like a little seed of mustard, we can move the mountains. The Mayan said, if you believe, you can create. If you can create, you can manifest. So everything is part of that process. Passing to another area of this, it's very important to know how could we connect it with all Mother Nature and the elements of the life. For that reason, my teacher explained me that we have something within us who is called the intermediary elemental. We'll show you here. The intermediary elemental. It's an spiritual being that is part of you and has the gift, you know, to communicate with the spirits elemental of the 4 kingdoms: the mineral kingdom, the vegetable kingdom, the animal kingdom, and humankind. So the intermediary elemental is an spiritual being that is part of you and has the gift to contact, to communicate with the 4 kingdoms, with the spirits elementals of the 4 kingdoms: the mineral kingdom, vegetable kingdom, the trees, the animals, and humankind. The intermediary elemental lives within you, is part of you. And the question will be, okay, so how this is coming to us? When we were conceived, in the moment that we were conceived, we return in some way in the process of the conception, during the 9 months, we return to ancient times, recollecting the information through the different kingdoms. I will show you. This is the beginning of the conception of a human being. And these are the first 4 weeks, and this is the energy of the one who is conceived a human being. But the shape of this is like a stone. My teacher explained me that in this process, the fetus, the human being who is coming, recapitulates all the information, all the knowledge from the mineral kingdom. And that's happened in an amazing way, because the miracle of the conception and then to grow and to birth is the mystery that is still now, with all the advances we have, we don't understand how this happened. Then the fetus continue in the next stage, becoming something like this, 8 weeks. And this is the recapitulation in the vegetable kingdom. It looks like a carrot. First is a stone, and here is a carrot, who represents that the memory, the recapitulation in the level of the vegetable kingdom or tree kingdom is recapitulating, and you go connecting with all this information and sacred knowledge that is going to be within you, because you are information as a fetus to be human being. The next stage coming in the 15th week, where you got the shape of an animal. Then you enter to recapitulate the animal kingdom. Some people say that we look like frogs. It's like a, you can check it, of course, very, because this is, I draw this and it's not perfect, but this is the idea. So this is like a frog who is recapitulating all this great information, the connection with the elements, the elemental spirits of the animal kingdom. So we can connect it with that. And then lately, in the 16, the beginning of the 16th week, we began to be human beings until the process of our birth. So this is the 4 stages, the 4 kingdoms that we recapitulate, and that's what create the intermediary elemental as a part of your spiritual being who lives within you. Just to have an idea, if the Mayas have information nowadays for about 1,500 plants and trees and herbs and barks and roots, how did they make it? How did they recollect all this information? If they didn't have, the possibility to do with laboratories, how did they know that this plant is for this, the bark is good, but the root is not good, the seeds needs to be smashed, etc., etc. All the medicine that is known in the Maya land is around that, 1,500 plants or more. So how did they know the information of that plant, herb, bark, flower, root, sap? Because they have, of course, the information that they recollected through the intermediary elemental. I'm going to explain you how are you going to work with your intermediary elemental. All the plants, trees, and stones have spirits elementals, For example, this is a stone. This stone, if I take it in my hands, I can feel the energy. The way that this stone breathes is maybe once a year makes a breath, very slow. And inside there is an spirit elemental who has the wish to pass to the next kingdom, who is to become in a grass, to become in a bush, to become in a tree. And this as we have millions of minerals, spirits elementals who are helping humankind now with the wish to pass to the next level of evolution, becoming a tree, a bush, a flower, a fruit, etc. So when you have this, in your hand, you feel there is energy. That energy is the one that I'm talking to. Is the spirit elemental who is there for you, and you can use it. So imagine you enter in a forest, you are in a jungle, you don't know much about it. How are you going to connect with the spirits elemental of the plants and to know if you can use it or not? So the way is to enter in that energy of the meditation and to send, in the name of Father, Mother, to send your intermediary elemental in front of a tree. Suppose there is a pine in front of you. You send your spirit elemental to your spirit to contact the spirit elemental of the pine and do the ritual that you don't know. The spirit elemental will know the mantra and the ritual that that pine needs instead that you do because you don't know. Your spirit is going to do that, asking permission to the spirit elemental of the pine or any other tree or vegetable or rock or stone or river or mountain. And then you will feel, okay, now my intermediary elemental is connected, has done the ritual, the ceremony to open the doors to me that I can be here and learn what I need to learn, to be here, protected, guided, supported by Mother Earth. So the intermediary elemental is like the bridge. It's the bridge who connects you with any kind of spirit elemental of the four kingdoms. By example, you are in an area that there are a lot of animals. There are falcons, there are eagles, there are doves, there are squirrels, there are many. So when you send, I said that you are looking at, for example, a dove, you said, in this moment, I ask my intermediary elemental to go into contact the dove because I want to know, about the dove, the spiritual meaning, the sacred knowledge that the dove has. And then your intermediary elemental goes, connected with the dove, do the ritual, do the contact spiritually, and then you receive that information. And with each one of the animals, you can do that. Or with each one of the trees, flowers, fruits, you can do that with any mineral, with the crystals. When you have a crystal, you can ask your intermediary elemental to contact the intermediary elemental of the one who is here in this crystal. Closing your eyes, you are going to manifest through your spiritual being the connection with that and do the ritual, the connection with that energy who is in this crystal. Could be a crystal, could be these ones, or could be any of the stones has spirits elementals. So this is the way that we are going to use our intermediary elemental. And that is amazing because that is why or how the Mayas receive information for hundreds and hundreds of herbs, flowers, and fruits. when you ask and you are prepared, you know, we don't understand possibly in a deeply way because we don't have the training. We don't do that nowadays. But suppose that in every region you go to the Native Americans, they know a lot about herbs and different kinds of healings. It's the same in the Maya. It's the same in different areas in the Inca and the Peruvians. How did they make it? How did they connect it? They need to do this in a spiritual way. So in meditation, enter in contact with the spirit elemental of the plant, try to see and talk, to him or her. So when I have my crystal, I will enter in contact to my intermediary elemental with the spirit elemental of the crystal. And I want, to imagine, begins to imagine, because the imagination is to see the soul, how is the spirit elemental of this crystal. And I begins to first try to see it, how this spirit elemental looks like. It's like a beautiful, beautiful spiritual woman with a white cloth, or it's a yellow with a yellow cloth. She's pretty, she's beautiful, she's singing, she's dancing, or he is a warrior. And then to talk. Then when you are ready, you can talk. And it's when you can ask the properties, the gifts, what you are good for. What can I do with you to help humankind? Then you will receive this information. And as you practice this, you will be more and more able to communicate with anything, with your dogs. One day, I did a practice with the sacred plants, and this is another thing we will talk in the right moment, because this is one of the things we need to consider. When we ingest a sacred plant in ceremony, everything is different when we just use it for fun. Well, the point is that I did the ceremony with an elemental spirit of a plant, and I was in that state. And suddenly I felt that somebody was calling me. So I said, somebody's calling me. I felt the telepathy of someone is calling me. So I had in that time 4 cats in my garden. So I felt the voice is coming from the garden. I opened the door. When I opened the door, there were 1 puma, 1 jaguar, 1 panther right there in front of me. And I just received the shock because I was in that moment connected with the spirit elemental of my cats, who assumed the shape, the form of a puma, jaguar, and panther. And I could talk with them in that moment and said, well, you're here. Oh, we are your guardians. We are protecting you. So it was an amazing experience. Because imagine, you have a guardian, your dog or your cat, or the trees you have, you can talk with them. And they have a reason why you have a tree, a pine or mahogany or cedar or roses. Which is the one who attracts you? Is the one you need in this moment. So I asked my cats, why they come and back. Because sometimes I have 2 and sometimes I have 4. Now I have 6, but they back and forth and say, oh, it's according with your spiritual need. So you have that chance, and we share with Trudy. Trudy has little kittens too, cats too. Once in a while they come, stay, and they disappear. It's like magic. So these experiences are important because without that, you don't understand how the Mayas got all this knowledge. How did the Mayans know that, for example, the the chaya, like the spinach, is pretty good for all what is arthritis. It's good for the bones. It's 41% now. The chemistry that they did in the chaya leaf, chaya tree, is 41% calcium. And the Mayans use it as a tea, use it with scrambled with eggs, using like medicine for the bones. Who did who told to the Mayas that that is good for the bones? The elemental spirit, of course. So imagine all the fruits that you have, the apples, the pears, the squash, you know. So all these are elementals who, if we know the properties, the gifts, we can use it for our own evolution. The elemental spirits have a humble way to say, I am here for you. How beautiful. I am here for you. Fry me, cook me, put me in the oven, make what you want, because my substance is going to give the love you need from me, and you are going to make me to evolve to the next kingdom. Imagine how beautiful it is to think in that way when you are cooking an onion. The elemental spirit is passing to another level. When you kill an animal, that animal knows that he's going to die because he's going to feed you, but he's going to pass to another level. Her sacrifice is the Christ consciousness of love and compassion that the animals, the trees, the rivers, the water, everything has. They think how to please you. And I can tell you, when somebody has dogs, dear dogs, and the owner died, and this is not common, the dog decided to die after the owner. There are many, many examples of that. Why? Because the spirit elemental is so connected with the owner. They know that they are going to give their life for you. So imagine all this is an interesting process to change our mind and to see how important is to connect through your intermediary elemental when you don't know how properties, what are the gifts of the plant. Do the meditations, connecting with your minerals, with your crystals, with your animals, with the animals of the forest, with anything you want. Okay. This is an important key. The evolution to the sky, to up, is called elementals. But there is another word which is called elementarios, elementaries. The elementaries are the ones who are in the sense, and you can identify them in the different kingdoms because, for example, in the mineral kingdom, there are metals who are not good for the human beings, the heavy metals. In the area of the trees, vegetables, there are poison vegetables. There are the ones with spines, the ones who eat. All these are elementaries. They are coming down. They're coming from, you know, human beings, animals, trees, minerals. The elementals are minerals, trees, animals, human beings. So that's why we need to know, the properties of different plants. There are plants who have, roots very poison, like arsenic. We have a plant here in the Yucatan. If you make a tea with the roots, the person died immediately, only with one cup of tea. It's like arsenic, and it's in the roots of the plant. And there are others who have spines. I have an experience here in Chichen Itza. We have a very poison tree, and this tree can make you burning in your skin. So one day I was there and I didn't know that tree, and I was in the jungle at Chichen Itza, and I decided to I saw the tree with little shade, and I decided to get in. I stayed there not much, maybe 10 minutes. And then I felt that something is like little dew is on my skin, and I do this. And when I arrived to the tourist facilities, it was, my skin was red, you know. And somebody said, oh, what's happening? And I said, well, I was there inside. And this man said, oh, that is a poison tree. It's called chechem. Chechem, Chechem, chechem. It's very poison, you know, it's like acid. If you stay more than 1 hour under the shade, you can have very strong several, you know, wounds in the skin. So I didn't know it. So we learn. That's why when we learn, when we study, when we practice, when we do these kind of connections with elemental spirits, there will be elementals. That is the most, probably almost 90% are elementals in a good way, and elementaries are less, you know, 10 to 15%. So, but we need to know too, in order to use always the energies, the knowledge that we know with the positive side of our beings, our spirits, to help people, to use for heal, to use for cleansing, to use for, you know, for any disease, for any imbalance, for any unharmony. All is very important. And that is why the intermediary elemental is an amazing way to open you to connect with the plants, with the herbs, with the trees, with the mountains, you know. One day I was doing a ceremony, and there was a man from Peru who used to drink ayahuasca. And but we didn't drink ayahuasca. We used doing the ceremony. It was an area with big mountains, you know, and I was doing the salutations with my shell. And when I did my first salutations to the east, I saw in my vision, my spiritual eyes, I saw a big being from behind the mountain, holding the mountain in this way. It's a giant, and showed me the face of an Inca, Peruvian, and he said to me, I am ayahuasca. Why did you call to me? So I was like shocked, you know, boom, at the moment. So these things happen because people brought spirits elementals, you know, brought the connection with that ayahuasca plant, or with certain plants we can bring. So we will to know, it's important to know which are the herbs that we are using in the way that we can use it in a positive way. We have something very important in our being, who is called the imagination. The imagination, to imagine is to see. The imagination is the mirror of the soul, that through you can perceive the inner dimensions. Imagination is when you decided to use your power, your gifts, and to imagine in a positive way, is to see the soul of the spirit elemental, is to contact that, because we have that from the moment when we were conceived. We have the imagination. The imagination is like a beautiful lake, in perfect calming, that you can perceive the ultra dimensions or the ultra energy of another dimensions. So when you imagine, you are doing the connection with the soul. It's like a mirror to connect it with the soul of the spirit's elementals. To imagine is to discover that you are a creator, that you can do things. If you perceive your imagination, then with even others, even smelling, even energies, physical, that is going to be a fact, that is going to be manifested, because the imagination is the one who created and then is necessary to manifest it. The imagination is very important because is the tool to contact, to connect with the spirit elementals in the inner dimensions. So that's why the ancient ones recommended the meditation every day. The meditation is the bread of the day, is the food of the day. We always need to meditate. We always need to balance and harmonize our 7 levels of energy, our 7 chakras, in order to be in balance, in harmony. Remember the song of John Lennon? It's probably one of the most known songs in the world, who said, imagine. If we imagine, even we can change the world. There are some mantras to use, you know, these. The imagination is activating with these mantras. It's the mantra ta, te, ti, to, tu, ta, te, Last one. Ta, te, ti, to, tu, with these mantras you practice, you will little by little reactivating your imagination. What will be a good practice for to use it, is to imagine the beauty of Mother Earth. Imagine the beauty of Mother Earth. We always have a choice. We can imagine the positive side of the life, the beauty, the love, the harmony, the balance, but it's necessary that we process that inside. When your heart understands, comprehends the life, the position that we have in this planet as a human beings is very little. We are an atom. If you consider this planet as a human being, we are an atom in this planet. 7 billions of people, we are just an atom. The perspective of our planet in the cosmos is an atom in consideration of the other suns, universes. It's just an atom. Inside that atom, there are 7 billions of people. So who are you? You are an atom. So when you imagine that the self, the ego descended, and then I want to use my life to help, to be in service to the others, to heal, to support, to love, to have compassion, to imagine good things, no matter what the news said, no matter what this opinion said. I am here to fulfill my work, my purpose, to be happy and to express happiness and joy and the most positive qualities during my stay as an atom in this planet, in this solar system. So imagine is the beauty, is the creation, is that beautiful area of the forehead as a lake the Mayans call Nenhol. When you are imagining, you become in a creator with the same or similar power like the creator in heaven. Because if we have father and mother creators, we have, by similarity, we have in another level the possibility of the creation. So imagine the beauty of Mother Earth, Mother Nature. Imagine the beauty of the trees, of the rivers, the beauty in the human beings. How beautiful it is to see a child of, 1 month and 1 year. How beautiful is that tenderness, who moves your tenderness in your heart. The energy of this child could heal a person with mental disease. Imagine the powerful energy of love who has a child between 1 and 12 months. How beautiful it is to imagine, that exists in the plants, in the rivers, in the forests, in the jungles, and the harmony balance with the animals and human beings. So always take the imagination for the positive side. We use very often this, oh, imagine this, but not very often we use in a negative way. We imagine tragedies, accidents, etc. Don't use in that way, use in a positive way. Use to serve, to give, to support, to love, to have compassion, to admire this beauty of Mother Earth, to admire what you are, the cosmos, all that is there. So let's do our meditation and then we have a little break, okay? So I invite you to take a nice place. Invite you to close your eyes, to take a breath. Thank you, Father. Thank you, Mother. Thank you, Holy Spirit, for to come in this moment to all my brothers and sisters To the ones who are participating in these moments, in this meditation, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for the beat of my heart today, for to be able to see, to walk, to take my breakfast, to go and to wash my hands, to see around me the light, my home, to see that I am alive. Thank you for the beauty of this day. Thank you for Mother Nature, for the sky, for the sun, for the rain, for the heat, for the water. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Father, Mother, in this moment, I want to ask a healing of the mind to cleanse and to heal the mind of all of us, to bring back the imagination, the gift of the imagination to my life again, and to use it in a positive way to make amazing creations, positive creations in my life. Thank you, Father. Thank you, Mother. We're going to imagine the gift of the imagination coming and activating our brains, the right and the left, healing any discordance, any imbalance, any unharmony, bringing a new thoughts in a positive way, feeling and looking the beauty of this planet, Mother Nature, the spirits elemental. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm going to do the mantras. To imagine is to believe. To believe is to manifest. Father, Mother, heal me, heal me, heal me, heal me. My neurons in my brain, in my heart, ascending, ascending, ascending. The imagination, the positive side of my memory, the comprehension, the art, the law, the philosophy, balancing with the science and spirituality, spirituality and science. Father, Mother, in this moment, please activate my imagination, my intermediary element in every part of myself, in every part of my atom, my cells, my system, my organs. Lead my intermediary element. Imagine the beauty, the most beautiful tree that you ever imagined, the most beautiful lake that you ever imagined, the most beautiful mountain, the most beautiful child, the most beautiful eyes. How many examples do we have? Hundreds and hundreds of beauty. Inspiration. Inspiration. Do, 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 Divine Mother Shell, Divine Mother Mukane, please in this moment, heal the hearts and the minds of all the participants, my brothers and sisters in this moment. Mother, come to me, come to me, come to me. Heal my heart. Heal my mind. Heal my heart. Heal my mind. Heal my thoughts. Heal my emotions. Ascend my emotions to the positive side, to the heart, and from the heart to the mind. Emotions, heart, mind. Thank you, 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 thank you. Mayan teachers of the medicine, Maya teacher of the medicine, Kid Voluntun, Kid Voluntun, Kid Voluntun, Volonshu, 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 come in spirit to all my brothers and sisters and heal their minds, their emotions, their hearts to receive the gift of the transformation of their minds, to use their thoughts in a positive way, with the light, with the love, with the harmony, with the peace, to see the life, the beauty of the life in everything. You can imagine the planet, the world. It's a beautiful crystal, spherical, and looks like the planet as a crystal is beauty. Is beauty. Is perfection. Is the manifestation of balance and harmony. Is the healing. Is the vibration of the chants, of the songs, the music. Is the poetry. Is the intuition. We expand the light and we expand the love to all the spirits elementals of our planet, the mineral kingdom, in the tree vegetable kingdom, to all the animals, to all the people. And when you see the people, looks inside their souls, their spirits. In the area who is pure, who is immortal, who is light. In that flame that is in everyone, but sometimes is almost burned off. That's why we ask to our Father and Mother to burn on the light of the imagination. The flames consume any negativity, any shade, any aspect which is contrary to the life and love, balance and harmony, kindness and peace in this planet. So be it, so it is done. So be it, so it is done. So be it, so it is done. In la quech, a la quech. Take a breath. Say thank you to your spiritual guides. Thank you for allowing us to enter in contact with the intermediary elemental and to activate the imagination. Say thank you to your spiritual guides, your teachers. Thank you, Divine Father, Divine Mother. Take another breath. And then slowly you can come back, open your eyes, and move your body. We're going to do a little break or 5 minutes, and then we'll return to continue the next time. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Miguel Angel. I'm going to turn off your camera and your mic, and I'll turn it back on in 5 minutes. So please, everybody, just go do whatever you need, stretch your legs, get something to drink, whatever helps you wake up, and we'll come back in 5 minutes. Thank you.
Okay, so we'll return now, and I want to explain how to use practically, the connection with the herbs. What is the steps that you need to do in order to contact with the spirit elemental of the plant? What is the practical way to do? As an entrance to this, Eastern Friday, is the commemoration of Jesus' death, crucifixion. But there is no in the side of that. The connection is with the cedars, the trees, the cedar tree. My teacher explained me that the cedars have in that moment the connection with the passion of Jesus Christ, and they transmit, the elementals of the cedars transmit to all the planet, the moment of that passion, of Jesus Christ. And I was wondering, when my teacher told me, and then my teacher always was a person who practiced. And then we began to practice with some trees that we have in the area, natural area he has. And we go and to do connections with the spirits elemental of certain trees. The cedar is one of them. The pine is another one, who are very powerful to transmit messages from the place you are to another place. So that is one of the reasons that many of the ancient cultures transmit messages from one region to another region, another area. They go and to talk with the spirit elemental, using the intermediary elemental, and they just transmit the message and this is transmission go in seconds. The spirits elementals are very fast, and they could transmit messages from you. For example, if you plant a tree and you grow the tree, you make friendship with that tree, and then it's possible that with that intercommunication, you can send messages to another person in another country, or in another state, or in another area, because they could transmit, spirit elemental to the spirit elemental. This is just an idea about a tree. You know what the parts of the tree represent. The leaves of the tree represents the lungs. The way that the plants breathe is through the leaves. But it's at the same time, spiritually, is the way that the plants feel you. For example, when somebody is going there without to ask permission to the spirit elemental, they feel it, and they feel it through the leaf. The leaf has like a little hurts, and you see the expression of horror that sometimes they get because the person comes very with a certain violence to cut out, to really break, the body of that spirit elemental, and they feel it. And then the flowers represents the sexual system, the way that they make the reproduction, the flowers, and they grow, the bees and the bats make the spread of the pollen, in Mother Nature, and another beings, the birds, to contribute to do this. And then we have the trunk. The trunk is the blood system, all the circulation of the sap. It's very important as us, without the blood, with the connection with our spirit, the sap represents the blood in the tree. And the roots, the down part of the roots, the branches and the roots, is represented the intestines, the stomach. And it's obviously that the trees, and all who contains roots, there is the inner transmutation connecting with the heart of the earth, and then lift up the sap, becoming, the leaves, and the leaves makes the flowers, and from the flowers we have the fruits. So what we have there is, the connection with all the different kingdoms. The mineral kingdom, the water, who is the sap, then the connection with the wind, who moves, the leaves, the flowers, and then the spread, the spirit of them through the bees, the birds, the bats, and another animals. So this is what a flower, a tree is, a living being. That's why, the trees are still with us. And according with the Mayas, the trees are going to be until the end of this civilization, helping us, giving us love, giving us support, giving us knowledge, giving us their fruits, the medicine, that is very, very important. So this is a plant. This is an elemental. This is a basil, albahaca in Spanish. Smell so good. It's used for kitchen, especially the Italians use a lot of this as the pasto. And this elemental, is one of the most beautiful we have in the Yucatan, is basil, the basil. And the way that you could connect with the spirit elemental of this is always to approach yourself, with love. You can approach your energy with love, and immediately the response of the plant, will sometimes they release odor, and especially certain plants like rosemary and basil, they release, and then even without to touch, then the spirit elemental say, welcome. You have good vibrations to me. And then we can touch. And then we are going to open like a cross, clockwise. We open the aura, the energy to enter in contact with the spirit elemental of the plant. So I will repeat. I am in front of the plant. I send my energy in order to manifest the positive state of my mind. My energy wants, a branch of 2 branches or 3 branches of the basil to use for kitchen. The spirit elemental receive my vibration and send me a releasing odor. Oh, welcome. Then I will ask permission, doing the cross, and then to open clockwise sacred energy. And then you can say, in the name of Father, Mother, I ask you permission to take part of your body. And then this is very important to say the purpose that I'm going to use for a healing session, or that I'm going to use for cooking a dish, that I'm going to use for a cup of tea to heal my lungs. And then before to take, you can say to the spirit elemental to let the plant go out of the plant for a moment. And in this moment, you take 1 or 2, 3 branches, and then you say thank you. Then the spirit elemental return to the plant, and then you will close in this way, anti-clockwise. So again, I will repeat the steps. I arrive to the plant, or to the tree, or to the mountain, or to the mineral, or to the animal, send my energy. I will receive a message. I will receive something from my intuition. Then I will ask permission, opening clockwise the atmosphere, the aura, the energy of the spirit elemental. If I don't know the way, I ask my intermediary elemental to do that for me. So suppose that I don't know anything about that. I open this. In this moment, I would say, I send from my heart my intermediary elemental to contact the spirit of the elemental of the basil and ask permission to take some branches for my cup of tea. That is for my health. That will be the way. And then when you take the branches, or sometimes the pines, or sometimes the bananas, or the oranges, or any fruit, tangerines, anything, or carrots or potatoes, yuca, spinach, whatever, you can do that. What happened in the cases of the supermarkets? What can we do? Then we can bring them, and first wash them very well in order to give them the energy of the water and to bless them to do the same ritual and to ask the spirit elemental to come from wherever distance is to return to the plant, to the apples, to the pears, to the basil, to the cilantro, to the onions, to whatever element you have. And then you ask, to them, asking permission. I'm going to use it to do scrambled eggs with potatoes or scrambled eggs with spinach. Always that is the thing. The thing is honor, respect, and love. There was a great shamana, I met. This shamana sometimes cure, only to think in the spirit elemental. And she put over just water her hand, and she called the spirit elemental of the herb to come and to become that water in the tea that she needs to heal you. That is when the person develop a great power, Great faith said, no, I call the spirit elemental right now, and it's here, and it's going to work, and it's the medicine. Take it, drink it. That is the faith that we need. And then it's the same when you have an apple, when you have something that you normally we go to the supermarket because we don't have now the fruits areas for us, that we can recycle the energy. We need to bless them, and there is a mantra that I will tell you, and I will spell you, and spelling is RAOM, and then separation GAOM. Sounds Raom Gaom. Raom Gaom. So just suppose that this is an apple, this is a stone, but suppose this is an apple, and I want to call the life, the spirit elemental of the apple, and I could bless and do that mantra to help the spirit elemental to return to the apple. Raum, Gaum, Raum, Gaum, Raum, Gaum. In the name of the Father, Mother, the Holy Spirit. I ask the return of the Holy Spirit elemental to this apple or to all the fruits that I have in my table that I'm going to cook, to the tomatoes, to the cilantro, to the onions, to the basil, to the flour, to the butter, to all the elements you have. You can return the spirit elemental through that faith that overpass any boundary, any wall, the physical wall that we have in our mind, because everything finally is energy. And the vibration changed that. When I got a contact with the Tibetan monks in 1995 here, we received 9 monks from Drepung Loselin. And we talked a lot about this. And they said that everything here is vibration. Everything could change when you do the right mantras because you change the frequency, and the frequency makes the matter. You see a person who is alive, the energy is alive. You are in joy. Nobody can tell you you are not in joy because you are in joy. You are enjoying the life. And even your eyes spark, you know? How you feel when you are in love. How you feel when you have a baby in your arms. How you feel when you are enjoying a bath in the river or in the sea. How you feel when you hug somebody you love. How you feel when you see a sunrise or a sunset or the stars. Nobody can say something because from your eyes you spark the light, from your heart. And this is what is expressing. The Lama said exactly the same that the Mayan said. We are vibrations, and the vibrations, overpass any boundary. Some people think that, only to eating something good, but without the blessings. We need to eat good, healthy, but with the blessings. Because the blessings change precisely that great energy, and we change for another good energy. Whenever you put your hands here, they say that we have a great power, great power that we don't imagine how much power we have here. So when you use these areas, these spots of your hands, and to give it energy, you are really making miracles. Remember that many of the great teachers, the ascended teachers, they use this. Even the great teachers never touch the person. When you do that, in front of a tree, and then you go in front of a tree, then you do the cross, then you open as a clockwise, and then you want to connect with the spirit elemental of the tree, and then you close your eyes, you don't know the tree, you send your intermediary elemental to connect with the spirit elemental of the tree. And sometimes you perceive the image. Sometimes immediately you perceive the image, the being, how this being looks like. Sometimes it's male, sometimes feminine, sometimes it's pretty small, sometimes it's like a little gnome, sometimes it's like in the Maya, you used to present like Mayas with little birds. Sometimes they use our light. Sometimes you see light coming from the plant. It's not necessary to have a physical manifestation, but if you feel the energy. So that's the way. And then you can ask, I want to take a piece of your tree, of your wood, or a branch from you, asking always permission, be respectful. That is the way that we need to treat nowadays Mother Nature. To love, to honor, and to respect Mother Nature is to return to your own sacred, divine origin. Is the way you treat Mother Nature. Is the way you feel inside, because we don't sometimes matter the food. We misuse lots of food, in areas of the countries they don't have food. It's an imbalance. So we need now to pray and to use in the best way we can our food. If we have much, give to the poor people, give to hospitals, gives to the retired people, gives people in hunger. There are institutions, there are organizations. You don't need to expose yourself. You can call them, Or I had a party and I have 3 cakes, 4 cakes that I am going to eat. Please come and take it. That is the way, we need to re-educate ourselves. So in any level, of this connection with spiritual forces, we always need to use our imagination, our heart, our love, but especially, to raise the vibration. So these mantras that I talk to you, Raom, Gaom, is precisely to unpollute it, to cleanse, to heal the energies who come from the supermarkets. We don't know how many people manage, the apples, the fruits, etc. So first we bless them with the water, and then we put and then we do the mantra, 3 times is enough with all our love, and then we we cook the spirits elementals who are going to be part of our system. Imagine you introduce spirits elementals in your blood, who is going to give you the life to continue your life. That is the beautiful thing. The spirits elementals given their life to you. The sacrifice, the transformation of that is to give you the life, with all the beauty that they have. So continuing with this, it's very important always, when you finish the plant, you finish, you close it, and then you return to the nice area. Sometimes the spirit elemental comes to you if you ask to come in dreams. Sometimes in the dreams they come and they show you how they are, and then you can say, wow, it's beautiful. It's very important to understand, how they look in the visions. There is another elemental here that is rosemary. This is the same. This is medicine. Smells so good, you know. So the smelling is one of the senses that we can use it, to feel the energy. It's always when you do this to the plant, the caress, to feel it, they feel you. It's like when you hug a person, when you kiss a person. My teacher used to kiss, for example, the plants, and he always go and kiss the plant. And other people use kiss the roots, depends, or they use say something to the plant or to the herb, like I love you, you're so beautiful, oh what a beautiful odor you have, oh you are precious. They say that the classic music helps a lot to the plants. If you want to grow a beautiful garden, beautiful elementals, play classic music or sing to them. There are songs that you can even invent it. That you can say, El sol es mi padre, lo amo, lo amo. La luna es mi madre, la amo, la amo. La lluvia es hermosa, hermosa, hermosa. Todo eso surge, no es un mantra, no, surge del corazón porque estás feliz, porque ves la belleza, ¿no? Cuando tú ves a un niño hermoso, le dices, mi vida, mi cielo, mi miel, ¿qué le dices? ¿Qué no le dices? ¿No? Te lo quieres comer, te quieres amar, quieres embeberte, ¿no? Receiving from that child the energy. No, it's the same with the plants. So you do the same, open them, and then connected with them, and you ask, to the spirit elemental, I'm here in the name of Father or Mother. Please give me 2 or 3 branches that I'm going to use for to do medicine tea. It's going to help me for my articulations, or I'm going to use it for another person. I ask you this in the name of the Father, in the name of the Mother. I love you. Forgive me. Now please go out of the plant as I do. And then you take out, you cut 3 branches, 4 branches, and then the elemental spirit return. Thank you. And then you say thank you, and then you close anti-clockwise the sacred energy. Imagine when we listen that at the beginning of this creation, there were rivers of milk and honey, and there was only one language. And the language was precisely the golden rivers of that language who was lost, And I think that one of the great possibilities for us is to recover using the mantras. Some people enter in some spiritual states that they return to the ancient languages that they don't know what does it mean, but they enter in that level and begins to feel it, that vibration entering their bodies and is connecting with everything. But it's no, in this level, we don't know those languages. This was the languages of the golden time or the golden age when it was the rivers of milk and honey. So now, so little by little, step by step, we are reintroducing again in these all elements of the life and these all elementals who are giving us the great possibility to be more healthy, more connected in the peace. What happened? What happened nowadays? Why is so difficult for us to connect? One of the things is because we have a problem between the six and seven and the seven and six chakra. There are two glands very important. Is the pineal gland, who's connected right here in the whirlpool here, and the other is both are close in the center of the brain. These two glands, have like a little rope, or it's like a bridge between two of them. When this link or this rope or this bridge has been broken, we don't have memories. We don't remember our dreams. It's very difficult to imagine, because one of the things who make it that is to use too much the reason. But we use too much the thinking, always thinking, instead to have the chance, to let the chance the heart gives to you the intuition. We really break that link. So tomorrow I will share you a practice how to reconnect these two chakras again. You know, there are many ways that we can connect it and reconnect it again. The point is how you feel. The practices I'm going to give you is as you feel. If you want to use it for the wellness, for to be in service, for to share with the others, for to bring balance and harmony. Imagine that this practice, and this practice I want to share now because this is very important. In the last days, I read in the NASA information that a big blast from the sun is coming. And they'll calculate this a big blast from the sun who is going to come to our solar system, and of course, they said it's going to affect, our planet in certain levels. My teacher said that everything is possible to change. And he said, Miguel, we have in our planet the most beautiful beings that we don't ask help to them. And I said, which are them? The trees. The big trees we have in California, these big trees, I don't remember now the names, but these big trees who exist there like buildings, like in the movie Avatar, they show one of them, these big trees, but all the trees who exist have in the upper part of the tree, would say in this area of the tree, they manage an special energy. Is etherical energy, is energy from the ether. So the trees and the plants that we have millions still in the planet, thanks God, they could help us to strengthen the planet, the atmosphere, and to protect us from the rays, ultraviolet rays, avoiding us, all these problems that we have now in the planet with the ultraviolet and the ozone holes. And I said, what is necessary to do? And he said, okay, you can do by yourself, you can do with 1, with 2, with 5, with 10 people, with 1 million, is to enter in meditation through your intermediary elemental and to connect with the spirits elemental of all the trees in the area. For example, in California, all the trees in California, cedars, mahoganies, pines, etc., etc. And to ask them in the name of Father and Mother, always using Father and Mother, the Christ consciousness, to release to the atmosphere of the planet that ether energy, who is like a dew, to protect and reinforce and strengthen the energy of the atmosphere of this planet, and to recover from the hole, the ozone holes, and to protect again the planet. My teacher said me, Miguel, that practice will save our planet. And I share with some groups once in a while, but I want to share with you because you could be, a bridge to say this first to yourself and then to the others. We have them, our brothers, our sisters, the trees, the Native Americans called too, the tree people. The Mayans said Teol, the Holy Spirit of the trees. And each one of the ancient cultures know that this is a spiritual being who is ready to help us. So this practice you can do by yourself. If you have around, close to a garden, you have in the area you live trees, you can do that. Imagine yourself, to be there in front of these trees, pines, mahoganies, bananas, or whatever. And you do this contact, asking them to protect, to strengthen the planet, because we are, of course, now more and more in connection with different cosmic events. Lately, we have the entrance of some meteorites in our atmosphere. So we need to reinforce the strength, the aura of our planet. At the same time that we do that with our planet, we'll do for us, using the intermediary elementals to nurture, to make us stronger in our energy, in our aura, and to send love and light in connections with that. That is very, very important to do it. So imagine how many trees you have around you. 1, 2, 10, 20, 100. How many you have in the state of California? You can check in the internet. How many trees we have in the state of California? How many states we have in the area of, So it gives you an idea all these amazing teachings they are not using. And how much time this is going to take? The time that you want. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 1 hour. Depends on what you feel. What is the most important ingredient in all of this is love. Without love, all the books said, all the teachers said, all the great avatars, all the great guides, all the great shamans and priests, prophets said, without love, nothing will work out. So this is the main ingredient. So you feel compassion for the dogs. You feel compassion for people begging in the streets. Do that. Sending love, sending the energy of love and light to the people who is suffering in hospitals, the people who is crazy. Send love to the people who have not food, abundance and love, plenty. That there will be forces. You don't know the universe. You don't know the mysteries of the life. We don't know who we are, really. We are more than this flesh. This is not Miguel. This is the cocoon of Miguel. Miguel is more than this. Miguel is a loving being. Miguel is a lighting being. Miguel wants to share with you, but it's not my name. It's my essence. It's my soul. It's my spirit who wants to open these like the jaguar, and to open this and say, hey, this is me. Don't confuse with Laura, with Daddy, with Cindy. This is not who I am. I am more than that. I am that spirit here embodied now, but I want to express my love and my service in my humble, all that I am to you. This is the real necessity that we need now to return to the Christ consciousness of love, compassion, light, kindness, humble, and not connected with anything who is, you know, out of that balance. We need balance, we need organization, we need love, wherever you are. And if not, you can send from the area of your home you are. How much prayer we need now? How much love we need? How much support we need? Do you want to be healed? Send prayers to heal the others. Do you want money? Send prayers that the others receive support in their projects. Do you want love? Send love to the others. As you give, you receive. The law of the compensation is in everything. So I really wanted that this talk open your heart and we can little by little return to the mother. Like now to Ladies Hakuk teachings is giving us the opportunity to return to the moon, giving us to return to the balance between the sun and the moon. And this is why we are doing this with that purpose, to open our hearts to the humanity. I just want to take the last minutes if somebody has any question.
Thank you. I just had a real awareness that as we recognize who, as we recognize what nature really is, we actually recognize more of who we are. So it's like plants and nature in general, they're healing us on many, many levels that that we're actually a part of, right? It's no longer like a recipe on how to heal with plants. It's being a part of that community.
Yeah, yeah. Because at the same time, remember, we have the four kingdoms within us.
Yeah.
Remember? We have minerals, we have sulfur, calcium, magnesium, we have waters, 75%. We have the winds, breath every second. We have the spirit with the fire. So we have all the elements. We have all Mother Nature within us.
Anybody have a question?
I have a question.
Lauren?
Yeah. My question is about harvesting a whole plant. And when you suggest asking the elemental to leave when you take what you want, and then ask it to come back when you're done. And at the same time, you say the elemental wants to come into us to transform into a higher vibration.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm confused about that. Why does it need to go when we take? And then also, what happens to it when we take the whole plant to harvest, like the whole basil plant or something?
Well, for example, you're going to take a piece of the basil to make a tea with a purpose. The energy of the spirit elemental is going to be within you, in your blood, giving you the health, and in other words, raising your frequency to the health. Okay?
Right.
So this is one. The other one,
okay,
when you are going to
ask it to leave before we take it?
Oh, yes, of course. You do the process, opening, you talk, and you take the leaves in order to prepare your tea, you know? And this information, these energies, this vibration of the plant are going to pass, to the spirit elemental in my blood when I drink the tea.
Right, but did you ask the spirit elemental to leave the plant while you took it?
Yes, when you took it, but then when after you took it, the spirit elemental will return.
Right, but it's still in the leaves that we're taking.
Yes, of course.
Okay, so that confuses
100%.
me.
No, yes, of course. 100%. And in the second way, when you trespass the total, the plant, you can do the same. You can ask permission to the elemental spirit of the whole plant, because you are going to trespass into another place in the same way. In that way, because you are not going to take any part of the plant, you are not going to spoil it or harm. It's not necessary to ask the spirit elemental to go out, because you are going to treat with love, respect, and honor. That makes sense?
Well, it makes sense, but I'm hearing two different things.
Yeah.
I'm hearing that you're asking the elemental to leave when we take what
Yeah.
we want. And then I'm also hearing that the elemental stays there and comes into us from the leaves we take.
Yeah.
And that if we're taking the whole plant, we don't have to ask it to leave.
Yeah, because the elemental is there. You are not going
Right.
to take in this case. It's like this. I just taking this and trespass. I don't harm. I don't take any part of this plant. So I am expressing love, honor, respect to the plant. I don't take any part of the leaves to use for any reason. I just transplant.
But what,
But you can ask.
okay,
the
but I'm
spirit
talking about
elemental.
harvesting the whole plant.
Yes.
If I harvest the whole plant.
Yes. That is a different situation.
Yeah, that's what I was asking about.
Yeah.
Well,
So
I guess
what does happen with the spirit elemental when you harvest the whole plant? You take the whole plant and use it for a healing, not just a piece of it. So the plant is gone. Is the elemental?
You need to do then again the connection with the spirit elemental, asking permission to use the whole plant.
Yes. Okay.
It's a common sense, it's common sense to use it. If I am going to use it for any reason, I need to ask permission to the spirit elemental, because sometimes we just go, for example, we have apples and we go and take it without permission. Okay, so imagine 100 apples in one tree, and you just go there and take it. It will like somebody comes and take your fingers, without permission. So we need just to imagine the living beings having feelings, and they have senses, and they know who you are and the way you treat them.
And they're willing to give up their existence for your health when you're using them in the proper way. I understand now. Yeah.
You cannot cheat a living being when you don't feel love. How can you cheat a dog or a cat when you don't love them really? They feel you. They know when you love them, and they come to you, or they just go away, because your energy is telling them, I don't want you, I don't love you. It's the same with the plants, with the same with the minerals, with the same with the mountains, with the same with the rivers, with the same with any tree, with the same with any fruit. It's the same thing. We used not to think, just to think in the way that everything is alive. We think that only living beings like in forests are alive, but not. In reality, what we eat is alive. All the things you eat, what you eat, because they have life. The eggs, the spinach, all these have life. The spirits elemental who still live there. It's a change, it's a change of our mind, our thoughts, and to return again to love, to honor, and to respect the spirits elementals.
Anybody else have a question from today? Nancy? You just need to unmute.
I heard that the most popular phrase used in 2020 will be, "You're on mute."
Unmute.
So I have a question along the same lines. I'm wondering if one reason we ask the elemental spirits to leave while we harvest is so that the plant won't feel pain when we cut the branch off.
Well, in this case, is as I told you, if I'm going to transplant this, you know, I could this form, and I just transplant with respect and love. I am not harming the spirit elemental. I just transplant that. It will be
But I'm talking about
different.
when you take scissors and cut off some branches.
Well, but all depends on your vibration and attitude.
Oh, okay. All right.
You see,
Thank you.
all depends on that.
Anybody else have a question? Okay, so we'll see you back here tomorrow, 11
Yes.
o'clock. Yeah, 11 o'clock my time, right? I will, I'm going to send the recordings and everything to you on Monday or Tuesday, as soon as I can get them together. And I'll include Miguel Angel's notes so that if you
Oh, great.
refer to them, you don't have to worry about writing everything down, okay?
Great.
Okay,
Thank you, Judy. Thank you,
thank
Miguel.
you.
Thank you so
Thank
much. It was
you.
great.